Listen closely. Somewhere inside you is a quiet discomfort, a tension you can't fully name. It appears when you follow paths laid out by others, when you chase approval that never satisfies, when you sense you are living someone else's idea of success. That discomfort is not weakness. It is a signal. It is the call to forge your own way. Most people drown it out with noise, comfort, or excuses. But those who become unshakable lean into it. They understand that clarity is not found by copying footsteps already worn into the ground. It is found by walking alone long enough to hear your own rhythm. If you feel lost, good. If you feel uncertain, even better. Because certainty borrowed from others is fragile, but direction carved from within becomes unbreakable. The world will try to hand you a map. It will tell you where to go, how fast to move, what to value, and when you should feel satisfied. But maps are drawn from someone else's journey, under conditions that no longer exist. You are not meant to inherit direction. You are meant to develop vision. When you rely too heavily on external guidance, you weaken your inner compass. And when pressure comes, borrowed beliefs collapse. The strongest individuals do not wait for permission or validation. They observe, adapt, and act. They study life the way a warrior studies terrain, not to memorize rules, but to understand reality as it is. When you stop asking, "Is this allowed?" and start asking, "Is this true for me?" everything changes. Forging your own way requires accepting something most people avoid. Solitude. Not loneliness, but deliberate separation. Solitude is where noise fades and self-deception becomes uncomfortable. It strips away distractions and reveals what you actually believe, not what you repeat. Many fear this space because it exposes weakness, doubt, and unfinished work, but that is exactly why it matters. Growth does not happen in crowds. Growth does not happen in crowds. It happens in quiet repetition, in unseen discipline, in hours where no one is watching and no one is applauding. If you cannot stand alone with your thoughts, you will always depend on others to tell you who you are. Strength begins the moment you stop running from yourself. To walk your own path, you must release attachment to outcomes. This does not mean lacking ambition. It means refusing to be controlled by fear of failure or hunger for praise. When you cling to results, you hesitate. When you obsess over winning, you lose awareness. True mastery is focus without tension, action without desperation. You move forward not because success is guaranteed, but because the path itself demands commitment. Every step becomes practice. Every obstacle becomes instruction. When you stop measuring yourself against others, you reclaim energy. Comparison scatters the mind. Purpose sharpens it. Progress accelerates when you compete only with yesterday's weakness, not today's crowd. Discipline is the blade you carry when motivation disappears. Motivation is unreliable. It rises and falls with emotion, weather, and circumstance. Discipline remains. But discipline is misunderstood. It is not punishment. It is alignment. It is choosing actions that honor your direction, even when comfort tempts you elsewhere. Every day you act with discipline, you reinforce identity. You are not trying to become strong. You are behaving as someone who already is. Over time, this compounds quietly. No announcement, no applause, just results. Those who forge their own way are patient with this process. They trust what cannot yet be seen because they know effort done correctly never disappears. It transforms. You will be misunderstood. Expect it. When you refuse to follow familiar routes, people grow uneasy. Your independence challenges their choices. Some will mock you. Others will warn you. A few will try to pull you back into what feels safe to them. Do not waste energy explaining yourself. Explanation is a form of seeking approval. Your life is your argument. Let consistency speak. Let results arrive in silence. When doubt comes, return to fundamentals. Breathe, observe, adjust, continue. The path is revealed by walking, not by debating. Those who endure do not rush to be seen. They focus on becoming impossible to ignore. Remember this, the way you walk matters more than how fast you move. Rushing creates blindness. Calm awareness creates precision. Every decision you make should strengthen your position, not your ego. Learn from everything. Victory teaches little. Loss teaches structure. Pain teaches honesty. Stillness teaches timing. There is no wasted experience if you remain attentive. Forge yourself through repetition, restraint, and reflection. Over time, you will notice something shift. Life stops pushing you around. Challenges no longer feel personal. You respond instead of react. That is the moment you realize you are no longer searching for a path. You are creating one. There will come a time when effort brings no visible reward. Days when progress feels imaginary and silence replaces feedback. This is where most people turn back, not because the path is wrong, but because it no longer feeds the ego. This stage is critical. It tests whether your actions are rooted in purpose or dependent on recognition. Those who endure understand that invisibility is not failure to its refinement. When no one is watching, you move without distortion. Your technique sharpens, your intent clarifies. You learn to trust your judgment instead of applause. In this phase, impatience becomes the enemy. Speed without understanding leads to collapse. Depth creates stability. If you can persist here, you build something rare. Confidence that does not need confirmation. To forge your own way, you must study yourself relentlessly. Not with judgment, but with precision. Notice where your attention drifts. Notice where fear disguises itself as logic. Most people lie to themselves to preserve comfort. You cannot afford that. Brutal honesty is the price of independence. When you fail, do not dramatize it. Analyze it. Strip it down. Identify what broke and rebuild stronger. Mission clouds learning. Calm awareness accelerates it. Treat your life like a craft. Every habit is a tool. Every reaction is a signal. You are not here to perform for others. You are here to refine yourself until your presence alone carries weight. The mind must be trained before the body, and the spirit before both. If your thoughts scatter, your actions weaken. If your emotions dominate, your judgment falters. Mastery begins with control of attention. Where you place your focus determines your direction. Do not let external chaos dictate your internal state. Calmness is not passivity, it is readiness. When you remain steady, you see openings others miss. You move decisively while they hesitate. This composure is built through repetition under pressure. Put yourself in difficulty on purpose. Seek resistance. Comfort softens awareness. Challenge sharpens it. Over time, hardship becomes familiar, and fear loses its authority over you. Do not cling to identity. Identity becomes a cage if you defend it too fiercely. Be willing to change methods, beliefs, and strategies when reality demands it. Rigidity is weakness disguised as confidence. Flexibility is strength guided by principle. You are not betraying yourself by evolving. You are honoring truth. Observe what works. Discard what does not. Keep your core simple and your approach adaptable. When the situation shifts, you shift with it. This is how you stay ahead without forcing control. The river does not argue with obstacles. It moves around them and continues forward. There is a difference between isolation and independence. Isolation withdraws out of fear. Independence stands apart out of clarity. Learn from others, but do not lean on them. Take knowledge without surrendering judgment. Guidance is useful. Dependence is dangerous. When you trust yourself, advice becomes optional, not essential. This self-trust is earned through action, not affirmation. Each decision you survive strengthens it. Each mistake you correct deepens it. Eventually, you stop doubting your ability to adapt. You know that whatever appears, you will respond. That certainty cannot be shaken because it is built from experience, not hope. Forge your own way by simplifying your life. Excess weakens focus. Too many goals dilute effort. Too many opinions fracture resolve. Choose what matters and cut away the rest without apology. Simplicity creates speed. Clarity creates power. When your direction is clear, distractions lose their pull. You stop reacting and start moving deliberately. This is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters with full presence. The fewer things you chase, the harder you are to control. A focused individual is dangerous to chaos. A disciplined mind cannot be manipulated by noise. As you walk this path, you will realize that fear never disappears. It changes form. Early on, fear is loud and obvious. Later, it becomes subtle, disguised as hesitation, perfectionism, or overthinking. The mistake is believing fear must be eliminated before action. It won't be. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is movement in its presence. When you wait to feel ready, you surrender initiative. Those who forge their own way act, while uncertainty remains. They move forward with incomplete information, trusting their ability to adjust. Every step taken under fear weakens its grip. Over time, fear stops commanding and starts informing. It becomes a signal, not a barrier. There will be moments when the weight feels too heavy, when effort seems endless and purpose feels distant. In these moments, return to fundamentals. Breathe deeply, stand correctly, observe what is directly in front of you. Do not spiral into imagined futures or past regrets. Power exists only in the present. Break the moment into manageable action. One step, one decision, one controlled movement. Overwhelm thrives in abstraction. Strength lives in precision. When you narrow your focus, endurance returns. You do not need to conquer the entire path today. You only need to advance your position. Momentum is built through small, deliberate victories repeated without drama. Pain will teach you faster than comfort ever could. Do not resent it, study it. Pain exposes flaws in structure, discipline, and awareness. It reveals where you relied on assumption instead of preparation. Most people numb pain to avoid responsibility. That is a mistake. Pain is instruction delivered without deception. If you listen, it sharpens you. If you ignore it, it returns stronger. The goal is not to suffer endlessly, but to extract lessons efficiently. Learn once, adjust, move forward. When pain no longer surprises you, you stop fearing it. And when pain loses its power, few things can stop you. Understand this, victory is not domination over others. It is command over yourself. When your impulses no longer control you, you gain freedom. When your emotions no longer dictate your actions, you gain clarity. External success without internal order collapses under pressure. Build inward first. Train your reactions, refine your habits, eliminate excuses. When your inner structure is strong, outer challenges feel lighter. You stop chasing control because you already possess it. This is quiet power. It does not announce itself. It reveals itself through consistency, restraint, and precision under stress. Forging your own way also means accepting that no one is coming to save you. This realization can feel heavy at first, but it is liberating. When you stop waiting for rescue, you reclaim agency. Responsibility becomes strength. Every outcome belongs to you. This removes resentment. You no longer blame circumstances or people. You adapt instead. Ownership sharpens focus. Complaints dissolve because they no longer serve you. Action replaces frustration. When you fully accept responsibility for your direction, you gain something rare, self-respect. And self-respect is more valuable than approval. And fall. Eventually you will notice a shift in how you move through the world. You speak less, you observe more, you react slower but act faster. Chaos around you increases, but inside there is calm. This is not detachment from life, it is alignment with it. You are no longer fighting reality, You are working with it. Your path may still be difficult, but it is yours, and that ownership makes all the difference. When your direction is chosen consciously, even hardship feels meaningful. You are no longer wandering. You are advancing. There is a moment when you realize that proving yourself to others is exhausting and unnecessary. The hunger for recognition drains energy that should be spent refining skill and judgment. When you release the need to be seen, your movements become cleaner, your decisions become sharper. You stop posturing and start acting. True confidence is quiet because it has nothing to defend. It does not announce itself or seek validation. It simply moves forward. When you act from this place, even mistakes strengthen you. There is no shame because there is no performance. Only practice. Only progress. The less you seek approval, the more dangerous you become to limitation. Learn to stand still without anxiety. Stillness is not stagnation, it is preparation. In stillness you assess, you conserve energy, you choose timing. Many rush because they fear being left behind, but those who endure understand that timing often outweighs speed. Acting too early creates unnecessary struggle. Acting too late creates regret. The ability to wait without doubt is power. Cultivate patience by trusting your preparation. When the moment arrives, you move fully, without hesitation. Stillness and action are not opposites, they are partners. One sharpens the other. You will encounter moments where the path demands sacrifice. Comfort, habits, relationships, or beliefs may need to be released. This is not loss, it is refinement. Anything that weakens your direction must be examined. Not everything familiar deserves to remain. Loyalty to what no longer serves you is self-betrayal. Letting go requires courage because it invites uncertainty. But holding on guarantees stagnation. Growth always asks for space. When you clear what is unnecessary, what matters gains strength. You cannot carry everything forward. Choose deliberately. The path becomes lighter when excess is removed. As you continue, you may feel separated from the world you once knew. Conversations change, priorities shift. This is natural. You are not meant to fit into every space. Belonging to everything means standing for nothing. Solitude deepens, but so does clarity. You begin to recognize kindred spirits, not by words, but by presence. Few, quiet, grounded. You no longer chase connection. It appears when alignment exists. Until then, your work is enough. Walk alone without resentment. Independence is not bitterness, it is commitment to truth. Do not romanticize struggle, but do not avoid it either. Difficulty is a test of alignment. If your effort feels meaningless, re-examine direction. If it feels demanding yet purposeful, continue. There is a difference between resistance that strengthens and resistance that drains. Learn to distinguish them. Wise persistence adjusts form without abandoning intent. Stubbornness breaks under pressure. Adaptation survives. When you meet resistance, do not push blindly. Observe. Reposition. Apply force only where it matters. This efficiency separates mastery from exhaustion. Over time, forging your own way reshapes your character. You become harder to provoke and easier to trust. Your words carry weight because they are few and intentional. Your actions align with your values, not your moods. You stop seeking shortcuts because you understand their cost. The path has disciplined you, and in that discipline you find freedom. Not the freedom to do anything, but the freedom to do what matters without hesitation or regret. When you reach the end of this road, you will realize something quietly powerful. You were never trying to become someone else. You were stripping away everything that wasn't you. Every doubt, every borrowed belief, every fear disguised as caution was something you outgrew through action. You did not wait for certainty. You created it step by step. And in doing so, you became grounded in a way few ever experience. Not loud, not dramatic, just unshakable. You forged your way not by dominating the world, but by mastering your response to it. You learned to move without panic, to endure without bitterness, to advance without needing applause. You discovered that strength is calm under pressure, clarity in confusion, and commitment when quitting would be easier. The path tested you because it was shaping you. Every lonely step taught self-reliance. Every setback taught precision. Every quiet victory taught humility. And now, when you stand still, you feel no emptiness. When you move forward, you feel no rush. You are aligned. You trust yourself because you have proven yourself through consistency, not promises. And that trust is something no one can take from you. So continue, not because the world demands it, but because your spirit does. Walk your path with discipline and awareness. Let others rush, compare, and conform. You will remain steady. You will remain deliberate. And long after noise fades and trends collapse, your way will endure. Because it was forged, not borrowed.